Hi, this is Sean from Kayak Flyer. Getting ready to tie Nick Dooley's DooleysFlyShops.com or DooleysFlyFishing.com, I guess I should say. Monthly fly medic box. I don't even remember what this fly is called. It's teeny tiny, so teeny tiny. It's May now, so I'm guessing this is the May box. I may be a little bit late on my tying here. But really it only has 3 materials other than thread, and that's I'm using size 16 hooks because I don't tie really well on the 18s. And then I've got some of this hackle for dry flies, and then some strung peacock herl. And I'm going to be using some Danville, and I've already got the black, or not Danville, excuse me, this is the Nano Silk. I've already got the black small Nano Silk set up, so I'm just going to be using that. I'll be using it in my right bobbin, my non-ceramic. Don't use a ceramic bobbin if you're going to be using Nano Silk. And then I have my spider vise from Griffiths Vices, which actually was really messed up, and I sent it in to them. They sent me new jaws, so that was really great. A shout out to those guys. And don't forget, when you go to Dooleys Fly Fishing, either in person there in, I believe, Peoria, Illinois, or if you order online as I do, don't forget to use promo code Kayak to save 15% on your order, and that includes on these Fly Medic monthly boxes. Now, I am not a small hook guy. I'm a streamer guy. I like tying big flies. As you see, I had a spoon fly in my vise just a minute ago. I'm a big fly guy. So I started doing these beginner boxes after talking with Nick and things like that, just to work on some of my techniques, because this is not what I normally tie on. And if my finger looks really rough in here, I'm sorry. I kind of blew myself up making a fuel alcohol rocket with my son the other day. So if you see that and you're like, oh, what's wrong with his hand? That is what it is. Obviously, fishing and fly tying are much safer than building fuel alcohol rockets. So you can see that hook. This is the size hook that I'm used to tying. Something like that. So here you can see the difference of what I'm used to and what I'm trying to do. So anybody can do this. Like I said, I cannot remember the name of this fly. I will try and look it up and put it into the introduction. But looking at the little fly that I was given, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a tail with the dry hackle, and then wrapping a peacock body, and then wrapping the hackle around it, and then simply whip finishing it off. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what I'm going to do. This is a dry fly or an emerger, so if you want to gink it up and have it sit on top, you certainly can. If you want to lay off some of the floatant and let it ride down in the film, that obviously is another way to fish it too. Again, apologize for my hand there, and I'll try to keep it as out of the shot as much as possible because those burns are gnarly looking, and I know a lot of you don't want to see that. Of course, if you're a dad, you do dad stuff, and well, sometimes dad stuff is dumb stuff. So we're going to get out this hackle. I'm going to imagine that it gets tied in first, just like any other bug, and we're going to use the tail here of the hackle. I actually think I have some hackle about this small. Now I'm gonna make a really small tail. I'm assuming that's probably what it is. Since it's not a streamer, it's probably just gonna look like a little butt fibers coming out of there. So that may even be a little too big. So right about there, that's what I want to tie in. And once I get that tied in, whoop, I didn't even get it tied in. That's why I don't like these small little flies, man. They drive me nuts. I feel horrible at it. And then I know there's a way. I learned how you tie these dry flies, that there's a way that you wrap the one side to you so that when it folds over, it stands out backwards. I think the shiny side goes towards you, if I'm not mistaken. If I can remember all those years ago when I took my first fly tying class, and they were trying to impart on us all the wonderful things about tying size 24s, and I was sitting there like a blind person trying to feel my way around for it, because my vision is not that great, which is why I gravitate towards big ugly streamers. Um, so okay, we've got that captured now. It doesn't look good, but it's captured. And now these are the problems that I run into. I've never tied this fly before, just like on all of these Dooleys Fly Box flies. You watch me tie the very first one I've ever tied. That way it looks like a true beginner is doing it. Now let me get a warm water box one day, buddy. We're gonna fly through that, but this one not so much. Hey, and I'll tell you what, if you like the content on the channel, on the YouTube channel, check out the podcast. You can watch it here on YouTube most of the time. Sometimes I have guests that don't have the right equipment, so they have to be audio only, so we just dump those on the audio podcast. But really check it out. Leave us a comment. Like the page. Subscribe to the podcast if you can. And visit our sponsors. We have some really great sponsors and great friends of the show that do so much for us. Words can't even describe how much some of our great sponsors do for us. You know, we've got everything from leaders to trailers, and these guys have been great to work with. A lot of them have reached out to me instead of me reaching out to them, and that means a lot when you have a podcast now, when everybody can have a podcast and people are reaching out to me asking to be a supporter of the show, or after they've been a guest of the show. A lot of times they'll listen to the show before they come on as a guest, and then after the show, if they've enjoyed the experience, they'll come back and ask if they can sponsor the show. So that I think really sells the quality of the show. If you're not a big podcast listener, it's a great thing to do while you're tying flies. So I've got 2 peacock curls tied in here, and I'm just going to wrap those around because this is a dry fly. I'm guessing I'm not going to be building up a bunch of bulk. At least I'm assuming that. This is like the first dry fly I've tied in that's not a foam bodied number 2 hook fly. This is the first thing I've tied seriously in 27 years maybe. No, not quite that many, but close to. Since I started to learn how to tie. This is the first time I've tied a dry fly that wasn't a foam-bodied dry fly like a gurgler or a popping shrimp or a frog or grasshopper. So this is really, for me, absolutely scary. Can I say that without sounding too wimpy? Getting out of my comfort zone. But man, look at that. That was a fast tie. Once I got that hackle laid in there, that just worked out to be a great, fast little tie. And dude, I'm telling you what, if you're a younger guy just getting into fly tying, I think this might be a fly for you, even if you've got good eyes and you're older, which is kind of an oxymoron. But if you've got good eyes and you're older and you don't mind tying something small like this, now you got to make sure not to crowd the head. I always have that problem, but you got to make sure you don't crowd the head. And looks like I've got enough room in that eye of that fly. Yeah, I did not crowd the head. Man, that looks really good. I am actually surprised. That turned out really well. It's just a little dry fly, and it's just going to sit there on top and in the film. And you can run a hopper, I'm guessing like a hopper dropper style, where you have the dry fly and then you have the scud underneath it, maybe even a smaller one. 16's as small as I tie, so I don't have anything smaller than this that I can put on. But I'm sure you do, because you're better at this than I am. But anyway, this is Sean from the Kayak Flyer Podcast. Man, check us out. We'd love to have you along. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Those really help us all out. And we do giveaways almost weekly on the show. We give away a lot of cutthroat furled leaders, all kinds of stuff. So hit us up and let us know. Check it out. Give us your thoughts and your feedback. And like I said, here's the one I got in the mail to show me how to do it. And Nick always sends a fly on how to make his flies. And I think I got pretty close with my little guy. I don't think the fish are going to be able to tell the difference. Maybe I got a little too enthusiastic with the wraps, but I think this will do just fine. In the 360 view, I think that'll do just fine. So, hope you enjoyed it. It's my first one. Don't remember what it's called. I'll ask Nick before I post the video. Take it easy, and hopefully you'll check out the podcast. Bye.